Two bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Hello, today we are going to address the hypersexualization of the LGBT community. Let me clarify.
Imagination.
Let me first say that hypersexualization in itself is a huge issue, but I don't have the time in this video to address all of it, so instead I've chosen a subtopic that I relate to, being a lesbian myself. Wait, maybe I should title this my coming out video. I mean, I technically came out in this video, so never mind. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you guys my coming out video at the end of the video. But for now, let's get to the educational stuff. I'll try to make it interesting. I promise. Now, I'd like to say that the reason I haven't uploaded in a while is that of my extensive research, but that would be overplaying it. While I did spend a lot of time researching, I've also been busy with school and sleeping. Mostly sleeping.
Imagination.
I'm going to present you with a situation. So, you see a guy and a girl pecking each other on the lips. Lovingly, right? Most people think that it was cute. But, so why is it when it's a same-sex couple pecking each other on the lips with the same love behind it, it's suddenly lust-driven? You may not be conscious of this, but I admit that I too am guilty of this. It's how the media has raised me, but more on that later. The hypersexualization of LGBT couples is rampant for everyone, but mostly with lesbian couples. Oftentimes, when two girls are showing physical affection towards each other, it's often perceived as an invitation for a man to come in and do his thing. In very extreme cases, this can lead to something called corrective rape, where a straight man sexually assaults a lesbian in hopes of turning her straight. Many times, the media represents a lesbian as a girl who's dirty and emotionless, as if their sole purpose is to lust over the straight girl. Because of this, the term lesbian has been directly correlated with intimacy and sex in our minds. I have a bit of an issue with the emotionless part. It's markets lesbians as an object for sexual fantasies. Because of this, many straight girls will kiss their friend in order to seduce the man of their dreams. The media dehumanizes us by treating our relationships as lust-based, completely forgetting our emotions. Lesbians have feelings too.
Imagination.
Now, it's time to address the impact that this has on the queer youth. When the media represents a lesbian, there are two main stereotypes. There's the femme, dainty, fragile, and feminine. And then there's the butch, tough, masculine, and protective. When the queer youth sees this and they don't fit in either stereotypes, they feel fake. I myself can testify for this. I'm not dainty, fragile, or feminine, but I'm also not tough or masculine. I'm a human being. We're all different. I'm very protective of others, but I'm also an emotional wreck. I'm not femme or butch. So in the media's eyes, I'm not a lesbian. So when the only media representation of people like yourself is lust-driven and sexual, what kind of effect will that have on your mind? The consequences of the media's advertising tactics are horrible. Young lesbians feel an obligation on our shoulders to be sexual at a young age. All we have as a role model is sex. Being a lesbian is regarded as a phase, a window in your life where you're being experimental and risque. When investigating your sexuality, it isn't very comfortable when people tell you that you aren't who you think you are. You already have limited faith in your sexuality, and now everyone's telling you that you're just confused once you think that you actually figured it out.
Imagination.
Now, watching this video, you may get the impression that I'm saying that all of this is because of those darn straights. Well, I'm not. The LGBT community is at fault too. When the community overflows the pride parades with nudity and sexual content, we can't expect that people will see us as non-sexual. Dating apps are a whole other issue. People don't use them for finding love or a lasting relationship. Instead, they use it to find a quick hookup, a quick fix to a primal urge. In my experience, I've never met a gay couple who have said that they met on a dating app. No one person is to blame here. All of us are to blame. And we must take responsibility. This doesn't have to be just the way it is.
Imagination.
Now, the part you've all been waiting for. My coming out story. Now, it all started on a fateful Tuesday afternoon. I have no clue which day of the week it was, but let's go with Tuesday. I was doing a digital puzzle while calling my friend over Skype. Oof. Skype. Anyways, she came out to me as bisexual and said that she had a crush. The whole time, I kept on teasing her and saying that it was me. It was. And later that night, I realized, heck, girls are pretty cute. And then I told my mom the next morning, and she said, I don't care who you love, just don't have sex. That's all that happened. I can't overplay it or anything. Sorry, kids.
Two bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart, 'cause they're not gay.
Baby boy. Oh, bless you. But if I give you Roy Skashes, you will, won't you? Your breath smells, never mind.